Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Before I start, I wanted to reflect on the speaker. The Middle East is going through a major surge in healthcare and education. These two industries have not been focused on in the past by the public sector for whatever reason. I'm sure you have to understand that the Arab world is, the countries are young nations, since their independence. And we believe that, in my judgment, America, even though it's the new world nation, I think it's one of the oldest nations because, it's almost 400 years or so. Our country is absolutely, civilization is thousands of years, but you can't really count on that. Once you start, you start. So our nations I consider them as young nations, and so that's, I see it as a great opportunity. The government has, throughout the MENA region, have focused on hard infrastructure industries, like oil and gas and transportation, airport, logistics, etc. But the future is really the soft infrastructure, the human from within. And that is really healthcare and education. And really, these two industries, they can really suck all the GDP. Like, for example, in the United States, healthcare is taking more than 20% of GDP, even more. It's a big dilemma. Even the superpower is struggling with it. So it is really a dilemma, but at the same time, it is a great opportunity. And the more the challenges, the more the opportunities. And same for education. As you know, education is a very important part. Same as healthcare. And so these are, we consider them the soft infrastructure industries, and they are the countries who focus on soft infrastructure, which is healthcare and education, again, are the countries who progress, and they are the countries who really compete and become top nations. And really, what we see is that this is what's happening today. From the presentations of the delegates before me, it's clear that UAE, they have a good efficiency on healthcare. I'm amazed that it's only 3% of GDP. This is really a success story. I think that the UAE, obviously the growth of the population is quite substantial, and I think that they should gear into public partnership more. And I'm sure they will do that. For example, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the GDP in public sector is around, from the public, it's 80-20, meaning public health is 80%, private health is 20%, which is really the opposite. Here in the UAE, it looks like it's 60-40, 50-50, 60-40. Private sector is 40%. But in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it's 20%. It is similar. I think the other Arab countries like Kuwait, same issue. Qatar, it is the same issue. Most of the Arab countries, public sector is much more substantial. And I think that the governments did not make changes. But today, things are quite different because, as you know, GDPs, like the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for example, are struggling. I'm sure you guys, everybody knows what's happening in Saudi Arabia because of the oil income generating. It's an oil producer, and most of its income is connected with oil for healthcare. I know that our neighbors are hotel industry, but I think that the healthcare industry is much more, the opportunities for healthcare are much more, especially here in the MENA region. I think that right now with the privatization in Saudi Arabia, I think that the healthcare industry is going to go to 400% because right now it's 80%. So when they privatize by pressure, which is normal, I think that you're going to have a much bigger healthcare, private healthcare industry, not only in the kingdom, but even the other Arab countries, because the Arab countries are watching today, the Saudi Arabia, especially big populated countries who are also under pressure, like, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco. I think this is going to be a new phenomenon. I think that this private sector is really going to expand. And when I say expand, I mean hospitals, I mean insurance, pharmaceuticals, not to mention that healthcare right now is going into digital healthcare. As you well know, guys know, that now it is the biotech, it's the robotic, it's the digital healthcare. Things are changing in healthcare, which means that it's going to be even bigger through time. And today I really wanted to share with you about Saudi German Hospital quickly. I can tell you that's really what I wanted to share with you today is what I just shared, but I can go quickly on public-private partnership at Saudi German Hospital Group. Yes, we do, we are one of the leaders in healthcare, in the private healthcare hospitals, meaning in the MENA region, and we did do some public-private partnership in the past. It was really more of an ad hoc basis. I mean, there are already, by the way, many public-private partnership in healthcare in the UAE, in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait. It's not something unusual, but it was done in ad hoc basis. It was not really done on a massive scale, or let's just say in a systematic way, which even reinforces my statement that this is really going to happen. I mean, this is not just a thing of mine, it's a belief, it's already happening. Here, it says here 240% on, not aggregate growth, but as of today, it's going to grow 240%, but with public-private partnership, you can multiply that by 4. So it's really going to, I think it's going to be a really big growth phenomena here in the region, and a story to be really shared to the world. Of course, public-private partnership can go in health education and health research and healthcare. We have one of the PPP that we have as a research group is in Yemen. We made a partnership with Yemen Airline and the Ministry of Interior, the Pension Fund of Yemen, and the General Authority Social Security of Yemen. So we did a partnership with them. The government owns 35% of this project. This is one of what we have done in the past. This is it. It's a 300-bed hospital. It's a $100 million project. Also, we have another one in Saudi Arabia. It's in Ha'il City. It's one of the second-tier cities in the north of the kingdom. And it was done as a PPP. Here it is with the His Excellency Crown Prince Sultan. This is the hospital. It's a 150-bed. The government provided us with free land and a long-term loan and subsidies for utilities, and even interestingly, they brought some investors from the city to contribute in the economy on the people's for the people, and we are basically investors and operators and developers of this. This is some of the examples that we have. I'm sure there are others that have also examples, but the whole objective is to share with you that this is going to be much bigger, and it's already been done, by the way, in the oil and gas. It's already been done in a bigger way today, not only in the kingdom, but throughout the Arab world. PPP, for example, electricity, power, water. It has already been done in the past in the Middle East, but now it's going to happen for healthcare and for education. So this is the new trend that is coming soon. Thank you.